Hey y'all, it is Dave Plays here today. So today we have our next video and we're going to be talking about what's it like being a apartment miner. So let's talk about my experience with apartment mining. It's definitely different than home mining and a lot of people don't really talk about it as much. I'm going to just set this up for you so we have our face-to-face, right? So apartment mining. I currently have an S19 right now, and I also have my Dash D7 miner. I have a stats on the computer, and we can go there next. But the D7, I only have one working hash board on it, and I got it for $90, and I got a small partial refund since some of the boards were dead. The Dash miner is pretty easy to accommodate, and luckily Dash is up, so it's making really good on just like the one chain right now, just on the one hash board. But when it's down like $30-$40, that entire miner, if it was working, would only be making like $4 or $5 a day for sure. So that is definitely disappointing. But for something for $90, it's already almost ROI'd itself. So if that miner was fully working, right now it's supposed to be $6.62 a day, which is really, really sweet. And the cool thing is the hash power doesn't really change on that chain too much. So it doesn't have like huge attacks where like the difficulty goes up or anything. And the cool thing is because I only have the one hash board working, the heat output is good enough to heat the apartment, but not too bad where it's like really daunting. And we can actually go check the ampage right now because I don't know the exact wattage, but normally it's like a 3200 watt miner. Now, let's talk about the S19. So, apartment mining with the S19 is extremely hard. So, keep in mind, all of these miners, by the way, Dash, it just went up to $8 if that machine was fully working, which is crazy. But yeah, so let's say I have all these miners going, or if I only have the S19J Pro going. Well, the problem with the S19J Pro is no matter what I do, that miner is always going to be pushing out so much heat that this entire area is going to be completely stuck at like 80 degrees. And you have to keep in mind, this is like when it's 30 degrees outside. And in the living room, because I have it stored next to my laundry room, because that's where my 240 volt comes from. In my living room, I can't open a window because it's an apartment. The glass is like all together in one big clump. So it's almost impossible to have that mining if I'm not in another room or if I'm not running the AC. So luckily I'm at 0.081 cents per kilowatt at the apartment. So, you know, a regular miner is about like $5 a day that it costs me. And the sad part is it's only doing on Bitcoin like $4 a day, but it's not too bad. Luckily I do have another host I'm setting up, and that host will be able to host it a lot cheaper for power. So once I have that set up, I will do another video as well. But yeah, so my experience with the heat output, because I just recently got the S19, is pretty rough so far. My room stayed pretty cool, but if I was in any other part of the apartment, it's a really high 80 degrees. It's like 82. And in my past, I used to do GP mining a bunch, especially during the ETH and Kapow days when Ravencoin was really popping. I had a window unit that had these fans, and it would actually suck the air out, and that works great. Or I could even have it suck cold air in. But the problem is, because of the window situation in the living room, there's no easy way to do that. So I can also shove it in my laundry room, shut the door, and just have it really heat up that room. And then the problem there is, like, I have my router and everything in there, and it'll actually make my internet go down because the router, which is like a basic router you get from any internet company, will actually get too hot. So the S19 in an apartment, and this is like a 2-bedroom, I think 1,200 square foot apartment, it's just really hard. Luckily I have other rooms that I can get some fresh air going through, but it is not something I'd recommend. It's also pretty loud, and the door to the laundry room isn't insulated very well, so even if that door is closed, it's very, very loud. So that's just my kind of thoughts on the S19, but it is a pretty good miner, especially if you can get them cheap enough. I think the sweet spot is probably going to be right around $200. If you can get this miner for $200, you are on the money. So yeah, so why don't we look at the computer, next, and let's just see how much they're doing. Alright, y'all, so here's the Antminer D7. So this one, if it was fully working, this is the result on it. It's supposed to do like 1200 gigahash. I actually have this one mining right now, and at this price point, it'd be doing $8.81 per day. And for 90 bucks, if it was fully working, that's not a bad price at all. But the big problem is it's not fully working. I only have one hash board that works. The other hash boards, one has 30 chips and one has 50 chips. And the sad thing about the Antminer firmware, which I am trying different firmware soon, we'll just stay tuned for that video. Right now, both of these are on stock firmware, but I did find aftermarket firmware for the D7. I'm hoping it'll let me use the other chips that do work. But yeah, no, it's just pretty sad because this is some pretty good numbers, and I've been mining with this one for the past few months ever since I got it. And I'll actually show you on my phone soon how far we got. But yeah, so that's this miner, and it's been pretty reliable besides when I first got it, the 2 hash boards being dead. But the 1 hash board that's been running has been really, really solid for me. And I'm a little bit over like 1 dash right now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so let's take a look at what I'm doing first. So I have about 450 gigahash. This power is not accurate, but we can actually see what it's doing soon. And right now, at the current dash price, that's about $2.92 of dash per day. And it is up a lot. Dash is up so much more than it was before. I was mining when it was about 30, 40. So I was not racking in the big bucks until now. So if I actually sold, I'd actually be pretty much ROI'd on this machine. This one was at a hosting facility that I didn't have to pay power for, which is super, super sweet. But yeah, so let's go look at my dash miner now. So this is it. You can see it's real time is 357. Right here it's 441, and theoretical is 432. But it's been really solid, and you can see my apartment's like, it's got the AC on. We're at like a cool 70 degrees. This is intake, and then this is the outlet temperature. So it definitely can run hot, but unlike my S19, these fans don't normally get any higher than about 4,000, which makes it a lot easier to just listen and bear to. Now, one sad, disappointing thought, if it's closed in any room and it doesn't have the full apartment square footage to let the heat out in, these will get screaming pretty bad. And the power supply fans on the D7 and the S19, they're pretty whiny as well. So it's definitely something you're going to hear living day to day for sure. But yeah, so I've only had it out for 11 minutes because I did move it here at the house to try back to the apartment away from my facility to try out this new firmware. I don't have the new firmware yet, but I'm hoping it's going to give a bunch of new features and overclocking potential to this miner, so do stay tuned for that. But yeah, so now let's talk about how my S19J Pro has been doing. And keep in mind, I've only had this one going for a day or so, but it is fully working at 104 terahash. And it is stock firmware, but I do plan on putting on Hive. I have the Logic control board, so I'm waiting on my USB to go cable. But if I was on Quai, which they're doing 100 terahash, which is pretty conservative, that's $5.57. I believe they use 10 cents per kilowatt. So you'd be negative $1.75. I think if it had my correct power inputted, this right here would be the same, but I think it's like 30 cents profit for Quai. Now the problem with Quai, and I'll do another video on this, I've been mining it for a while, and the rewards that you get from mining has slowly went down. So I don't know if profitability is going to stay as high as it is. You also have to keep in mind they have like a 2-week hold time on all coins. So you could mine up a bunch of coins, and then some big miner could get them unlocked tomorrow and then just completely dump on the price. But so far it is the most profitable. The next profitable is going to be Digibyte, but it's less profitable by almost $1. So Digibyte, Fractal, eCash, and then of course our fabled Bitcoin right here. It's pretty rough. I mean, mining Bitcoin and only making $4, if you're not almost 4 cents per kilowatt hour or less, you're basically cooked on this unit. It's barely scraping by, and you have to keep in mind this is an S19, and about a year ago we had S9s doing 80, 90 cents to $1 a day. And now we have S19s doing 100 terahash versus 15 for an S9, barely scraping by with $4 a day. So it's just something you have to keep in mind. I am hoping with some of the pumps and some of these new coins that coming out, like I know it's towards the bottom because of how it's going so far. But right now, BC2 is $1.87. And once that chain speeds up, you should start making a lot more with BC2. So I am hoping that's going to help out with some of the profit as well. I hope once BC2 is getting pushed through with their new difficulty adjustment, I'm hoping it goes close to where Quai is so far, because that coin's pretty solid. But yeah, so this is just my thoughts as a home miner. And then next we'll check out the machines, and then we'll be ready to go. Alright, y'all, it's probably going to be pretty loud, and I do apologize, but this is just going to be a showcase of the machines. So, I don't know if you can hear this, but this one's my D7 miner. We got the S19. And then right now the S19 is off, but our D7 miner is currently pulling, I don't know if you can tell, it's 240 volts at 4.62 amps. And then this is another video coming soon. This is my home lab. But yeah, so not to bore you guys too much, but that's kind of the apartment mining side for being an apartment miner. So you have to keep in mind, I mean, the apartment is pretty big. I'm over here in the living room. But this entire place, if I'm not running the AC, it's pretty hard to run these miners. I know yesterday I checked my power bill, and with my Jellyfin server, my TrueNAS, and some of the other servers I have along with the miner, my power bill was $10 for that day. And it's definitely not making $10 a day. We are actually under, and I think because I had it on unmineable, it only did like $3.50 for the day. You also have to keep in mind that's not a full day because I did it halfway through the day. So it probably would have ended up being $12 a day for sure. But I will keep you guys updated on the apartment mining career. I'm hoping with some new pumps this year, maybe my S19 is going to pay off. So, peace, y'all. It's good talking to you. And sorry about the late videos, but I'm glad to be back now.